Good evening. Welcome back to Hellhound's Late Night Spook Show here on the Horror and Metal channel. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope everybody's having a good one. So, in order to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, I figured it would be appropriate to go ahead and review Leprechaun. That's right, the original Leprechaun movie from 1993, written and directed by Mark Jones. And starring Warwick Davis as the title character, and Jennifer Aniston in her first starring role in a feature film. Yeah, this is her first movie, not counting an uncredited extra in Mac and Me. But yeah, Leprechaun from 1993. Okay, yeah, just gonna be a miniature review. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I got somewhere I gotta be here soon. But anyway, so yeah, right off the bat, obviously, yes, this is a bad movie. Yeah, it's a very stupid movie, but it's definitely so bad it's good. It can definitely be enjoyed as a guilty pleasure, and what the heck, I think it's a lot of fun. It's not, in my opinion, it's impossible to be bored while watching this movie, because it's just a blast. Yeah, like I said, the cast is all great. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston's good in her first starring role. I really like Mark Holton as Ozzy. He's really funny. He's a lot of fun. He was also, of course, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Teen Wolf and some others. And he's always enjoyable to watch. But of course, the best performer in this movie, I think, is definitely Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun himself. Yeah, he's just an absolute riot. He's very, very fun to watch. You can tell he's having a lot of fun with the part. I think that the fun he's having is very, very infectious. Like I said, yeah, it's a very, very enjoyable performance. It's funny, kinda, and not really scary, but, kinda creepy here and there, just a little bit, but mostly just funny. And just very enjoyable. He's got magical powers, like a leprechaun does. He's after his pot of gold, of course. I think it was kind of interesting that his weakness, the way they try to defeat him is with a four-leaf clover, which is deadly to leprechauns. I think that was a cool idea. But yeah, it's basically Jennifer Aniston and her family are moving into a new house, and some painters have been hired to help decorate and stuff. They actually unleashed the leprechaun who was previously imprisoned by the old owner of the house, who imprisoned him in a crate and then put a four-leaf clover on top of it. And Ozzy actually accidentally releases him, and now he's trying to get his pot of gold back, and he'll kill anybody who gets in his way. Yeah, it's rated R, very light R. It's not really all that violent or anything. It could probably pass for PG-13, really. Some of the kills are kind of gruesome, but nothing too extreme, nothing too graphic. It's not like a ton of gore or anything. But yeah, all the cast members are really believable. I think everybody does a good job. All the actors are good. They do their parts well. It's better acting than you would expect in a movie such as this. But yeah, it is a very stupid movie. Obviously, it can't compare to masterpieces like Nightmare on Elm Street or The Exorcist, but it doesn't try to. It wasn't supposed to be a movie to be taken seriously. It's just supposed to be a really fun, enjoyable horror comedy, and that's what it is. And I think when it comes to that, it definitely delivers. Yeah, Leprechaun, your luck just ran out. Yeah, very fun movie, like I said. I definitely recommend it. I'll probably be watching it later today, in order to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. This DVD is pretty bare bones. It didn't really come with, just comes with the trailer and some cast information. It's pretty much it. But what do you expect, really? Yeah, some pretty interesting, unique shots, like when the leprechaun's running through the woods and stuff, and then when he's chasing this cop, little bit of, I guess it's a little bit of suspense and not really any real tension. But again, like I said, you're not really supposed to take this seriously. It's not a scary movie by any means. It's just a lot of fun. But yeah, Leprechaun. You probably have to be in the right mood to enjoy it, but I definitely recommend it nonetheless. For what it is, it's really enjoyable. Bad movie, but it's a good bad. Yeah, Leprechaun. Check it out. So it was followed by some sequels. There was Leprechaun 2. Now, it doesn't have any returning cast members. It has a different setting. The first movie is kind of like in the countryside. This one's kind of like more in the city. I think it's a different Leprechaun. It doesn't really have any continuity with the first movie, because where we last left the Leprechaun in the original film, this one picks up way differently. And I think the ages are different too. I think the first Leprechaun mentioned that he's like a few hundred years old or something. Whereas this one's like over 1,000. I think something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, once again, Warwick Davis is a lot of fun. The main cast is really good. I really like Uncle Monty. He's probably my favorite character next to the Leprechaun. In this one, the Leprechaun's not after his pot of gold. He's trying to get married. But I think he does end up losing his pot of gold, or at least a gold coin. He's after that as well. And so he's trying to marry this woman, and her boyfriend's not going to stand for it. He's trying to protect her from the little monster. So. But yeah, pretty fun movie. I think I enjoyed the first one just a little more. But it's a pretty solid sequel. Again, another bad movie, really, really stupid, but a good cast, believable acting, for the most part, more than you expect anyway. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Leprechaun 2. I recommend it. If you like the first movie, you'll probably like that one too. But my favorite entry in the whole series has got to be Leprechaun 3. Yeah, the Leprechaun in Las Vegas. Yeah, Warwick Davis returns to the Leprechaun once again, and he has even more screen time in this movie than he did in the other two, I'm pretty sure. And he's a lot of fun yet again. This movie's an absolute blast. The acting's pretty over the top, not as much as you'd think for a movie like this, but yeah, it takes place in Vegas, and they really milk it for all it's worth. It's not like Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, where barely any of it actually takes place in New York City. This one, they really milk the Vegas setting for all it's worth, I think. And there's plenty of scenes, casinos and everything. The Leprechaun causes all kinds of havoc. And what's really enjoyable about this one is the gold coins grant wishes, and so we see other characters, wishing for things. It usually backfires on them, just kind of like in the Wishmaster movies. But yeah, the cast is really believable once again. Of course, we have horror favorite Caroline Williams, who of course was also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Stepfather 2. Hatchet 3, and, several others. She's no stranger to the horror genre, and, she's really believable here. I really like the magician character. He's not a good guy at all, but he's really funny. I like the main guy. Brian Trenchard Smith directed this, and in the next one, too, I believe. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite. This movie is just an absolute blast. It's just hilarious and very, very entertaining. I absolutely love it. Again, another bad movie, but for all the right reasons. Very fun. Then we have Leprechaun 4 in space. Also directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, who directed the third film. The funny thing about this film is I often see reviews of people saying, oh, Leprechaun 4, that's the one that ruined it. The series was so good, and Leprechaun 4 came along and just screwed everything up. It's like, are you serious? Leprechaun 4 is such a bad movie. They're all bad. They're enjoyably bad. And this one's also enjoyably bad. I probably don't like it as much as the first three, sure, but it's still very funny. It's Warwick Davis, and like the title suggests, yeah, it is in space. It's on a space station, and and then another planet, and the Leprechaun series is horrible with a sci-fi twist, and it's pretty funny. There's an alien. There's a couple cyborgs. There's a mutant spider scorpion monster creature towards the end. It's really, really out there. A very, very cartoonish and very over the top, just like you expect. But watching Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun is you can't go wrong with that because he's always a lot of fun. I think all of these are a different Leprechaun. They don't really share continuity. The way they defeat the Leprechaun in one movie, he'll return in the next movie with no explanation, and it'll be totally inconsistent. So I think these are all supposed to be different Leprechauns. I'm not sure why, but whatever. But I guess it's debatable. But yeah, Leprechaun 4 in space. Yeah, again, it's another bad movie, but when people say, oh, that's the worst one because it's a bad movie, they're all bad. They're enjoyably bad. This was no exception. But like I said, I do think the first three are definitely better, especially Part 3. That's my favorite. Then there's the two Hood films, Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Now, I don't care a whole lot for these ones because these ones have that whole ghetto, gangsta, hip-hop vibe, though Ice-T is pretty funny in this one. He's kind of enjoyable to watch. He's always cool. Again, Warwick Davis is pretty fun and pretty hilarious, like always, but overall, I know these have their fans. I know a lot of people like them when they, people who are fans of the series like these ones. I think they're good entries, but I can kind of take or leave these. I think that the first four are a lot better, but they're pretty fun. Sadly, this was the last one to feature Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun. Alright, so then there's Leprechaun Origins. Okay, yeah, a lot of people hate Leprechaun 4 in space, but this is without a doubt the worst in the series. This movie flat out sucks. It's bad, but it's not so bad it's good. It's so bad it's just plain bad. This movie's awful. I don't know why they called it Origins. It's supposed to be a prequel, but it doesn't connect to the other movies at all. This one's clearly not the same Leprechaun. In fact, it doesn't even look like a leprechaun. It looks more like a goblin or something. He doesn't talk. He's not funny at all. He has no personality. He's just like a generic monster. This one tried to take it more seriously and actually tried to be scary. It's not a horror comedy. I think that really hurts the movie. The cast is really bad. Yeah, bad acting, bad story, bad special effects. A leprechaun that looks, nothing like the one in the other movies. No connection to the other ones, even though it's called Leprechaun Origins and this is supposedly a prequel. How? I don't know. Yeah, this shit has been called something else. It doesn't connect to the others at all. I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah, terrible movie. It tried to be serious, it tried to be scary. Big mistake, because it's just boring and dull and just terrible. And it feels all kinds of asinine, petulant dialogue. This movie's just insipid drivel. I do not recommend it at all. It sucks. Okay, I think I spent enough time on that. Okay, then there's Leprechaun Returns, which is the final installment of the series to date. Now, this one actually does connect to the original. It's a direct sequel to the original. It shares continuity. The original ended with, spoiler alert, him falling into a well, and this one, he's released from the well, and Ozzy, played once again by Mark Holton, returns. He's the only returning cast member. So yeah, this is actually a follow-up to the first movie. It's an actual sequel with plenty of continuity. The bad thing is, yeah, Warwick Davis doesn't return again, but this Leprechaun felt more like the one in the original series, unlike in this stinker. But yeah, the new guy, he's pretty good. He's no Warwick Davis, but he's enjoyable. Lyndon Porco is his name. I guess he's some kind of a wrestler, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, he talks, he has dialogue, he's pretty funny. Kind of witty with the wisecracks. But this one, like Origins, also tried to take itself more seriously. It's played more straight for the most part. It tries to be a more genuinely scary, traditional horror movie. Yeah, it probably is the most violent and gory of the series for sure. And, it's a little darker than the other ones. This one really isn't as much of a horror comedy as the ones with Warwick Davis. And that kind of saddens me because I think that was kind of the best part, I really would like to see Warwick Davis return to play the Leprechaun again. I know he wanted to play one. He wanted to be in one where he faced off against pirates, like back in the old days or something. That would be awesome. There's so much you could do with that, I think. But for what it is, I do think this one's pretty darn good. It's a lot better than Origins. I think it's definitely better than the two Hood films. And it's probably better than Leprechaun 4 as well, though, again, it would have been a lot better with Warwick Davis, though, like I said, Lyndon Porco is a very good replacement for sure. But yeah, like I said, it does try to play it more serious. It's not really as funny as the other ones, and isn't quite as amusing, I would say. But again, pretty good, and it is kind of cool that they attempted to connect to the first movie with some actual continuity, unlike most of the other sequels. But yeah, so that's the Leprechaun movies. Yeah, I definitely be watching the first one later today. Because it's just a blast. It's a very fun movie. When you think of St. Patrick's Day and you think of horror, this is probably the first movie you think of. So I figured it'd be appropriate to go ahead and review it, because I haven't done that already. So yeah, Leprechaun, check it out. And go ahead and check all these out if you have time. Go ahead and might be a marathon all the Leprechaun series today as well. But I'm probably going to go ahead and skip over this abomination, because it sucks. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching my late night spook show here on the Horror and Metal channel. Until next time, later.